Regs and Issues. I'm Joe Rozak, President of the Bremerton Chamber of Commerce. I want to welcome you all to Regs and Issues. First, a few housekeeping issues. First of all, the exit areas, in case of emergency, are through that door or through both of those doors, so it'll take you outside. Restrooms are down that hallway. I also ask that those of you who happen to have one of these things to please put it on either silence or buzz, so that it does not disturb our candidates while they are responding. And if it should happen to go off during the presentation today, I do ask that you make a $10 donation, voluntary, to
The Salvation Army.
Salvation Army. As a matter of fact, we've had now 2 donations made this past session. A total of $20 has been accrued towards nonprofits in our neighborhood. So we want to thank you for that. But we prefer you just make the donation without having your phone go off. Last thing I ask is to hold all applause until the end of the show, and then we'll let everybody uncork that wonderful joy. So with that being said, let me first of all review with the candidates the rules of the road. So first of all, you will begin with 3 minutes. You'll have a 3-minute opportunity to address the crowd as well as our Facebook friends as far as your position, stance, and whatever you would like to share with folks regarding why you are running for the position of District 1 PUD. Then the second part is, after that's completed, we'll move into question and answer, which we have several. And we're judging about we'll do about a minute's time response with that. With that, first, then we'll conclude today's session with a 2-minute summary. So after all the question and answer period is done, you have a 2-minute summary to either address some questions if you so like, or to give a summary statement to our audience members. With that being said, we have Frank, who's going to be our timekeeper. When the yellow one goes up, when you're doing your 3-minute introduction, that means you have 30 seconds. The yellow will go up, and then you have 10 seconds left in your 1-minute response. And the yellow goes up when you have 20 seconds left in your 2-minute response. And then when the red one goes up, the red paddle goes up, that means your time is up. And I will gradually move in as close as possible to make sure that we can keep this fair and equitable as far as response times. So with that being said, I believe I covered all my bases, and we are ready.
Challenge card. Challenge card.
Oh yes, I forgot to mention, there is a challenge card in front of you, so that if your opponent says something that you disagree with or you want to challenge, just simply raise the challenge card. And then you will be provided 1 additional minute to make the challenge to that candidate. And then the candidate will have the opportunity to rebut the challenge for 1 minute also. So you can use those challenge cards as you wish. So with that being said, we do things alphabetically, and typically I go by first name alphabetically. So Debbie, you get to lead off. So.
Darn, Armstrong, who are you there? Okay. Okay. I'm Deborah Lester, and I want to be your next Kitsap Public Utility District Commissioner. My diverse experiences as a business owner, a community organizer, a nonprofit board member, and an elected official have prepared me for this role. As Commissioner, my focus will be to build stronger community alliances so that together we ensure that our communities have safe drinking water, that we carefully plan and manage our water resources, treat wastewater so as to retain more fresh water in our freshwater systems, and expand broadband services. My abilities to advocate and collaborate get results. As a Bainbridge Island Councilwoman, I had advocated for the study of our rates on Bainbridge Island to that of KPUD. Upon finding the rates to be considerably higher, we reduced the rates by a total of 65%. I promise to use my experiences and abilities to get results for you as your KPUD Commissioner. Whether addressing your concerns, attending local meetings, or testifying at the state capitol, I will do whatever is necessary to ensure that we have safe water, we have reliable and affordable services, and I will also Mayor Becky Erickson, Bainbridge Island Mayor Val Tollefson, Leonard Forsman of the Suquamish Tribe, and the National Women's Political Caucus of Washington. As a former councilwoman and mayor, I have worked side by side by Riverton Mayor Patty Lent, Kitsap County Commissioners Charlotte Garrido and Rob Gelder, and as a community organizer, I've worked with House Representative Larry Sequist, Senator Rolfus, and House Representative Sherry Appleton. So thank you. I'm very honored to be here, and thank you for hosting today.
Thank you. And John, please same time for introduction, please.
My name is John Armstrong. I've been the PUD commissioner here in Kitsap County in the North End, but I don't remember my attention to the North End. How's this better?
Yeah, when I was a kid, you had to do this to us. Oh, Mabel? Yeah, please get me Joey. But anyway, I've been in this position for 24 years. I thoroughly enjoy it. I'm educated by AWWA. I serve on a committee for the American Water Works Association. I have been the president of the Washington Public Utility Districts Association. I serve on their board of directors, their government affairs and legislative committee. Their long-range planning, strategic planning committee. And that's kind of my background in intergovernmental affairs. I'm endorsed by a number of people down in Olympia. Senator Sheldon, Representative Appleton, the mayor of Bremerton has endorsed me. Representative candidate Larry Seacrest has endorsed me. Senator Tim Sheldon, a whole of people who have worked with me find me capable of doing the job. My dedication is to the point of setting my daughter who lives with me. I spend numerous hours on the computer and weekends and days off, which you don't get anymore in this position. In any event, I thank you for the opportunity, to the Chamber for inviting us here. And I've never had a nasty campaign. Every candidate that's run against me has done it on issues and facts. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. And now we get into our question and answer period. Again, the pad will go up when you have 10 seconds left of your response. And we'll be a little bit generous with our time so we can make sure the audience members get the full benefit of your response. With that being said, we had Debbie start. So the first question goes to John. So John, the first question is drinking water. What is your view of testing for lead in school water?
Well, the testing for lead and contaminants is the obligation of the facility owner or operator. We test for pollutants. Don't get this just right. I'm blowing your earbuds. I'm sorry. estimated. But in any event, if you don't get that tested correctly, and I believe all three of our school districts have done that, and some of the private districts have done it too. We test for contaminants in the reservoirs, in the systems, in accordance with the federal and state. We will assist anybody in testing their private system.
Thank you, sir. And Debbie, same question. Would you like me to repeat the question?
No, the question was drinking water testing for lead in schools. Do I
Correct.
see that is important? Absolutely, it's important. And I think that we should be testing for more than just lead. This week, it's come up in the national conversation that high levels of chromium-6. Chromium-6 is a carcinogen, and it's been found that high levels are in a number of our water systems. And so I think that we should be, whether it's brought to our attention, we need to address that and test further. And I looked into the reports that were provided regarding the chromium-6, and the California standard is 0.06 parts per billion. And looking further at the tests that were done, it's concerning. The city of Bremerton has tests as high as 0.82. The city of Bainbridge Island has, the highest test was 0.045. Again, the standard was 0.02. So I would like us to address that issue of chromium-6 as well as lead. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. All right, so speaking of water, our audience member asked a follow-up question, so to speak. This is regarding our aquifers. Debbie, I'd like to have you give the answer to this question. And that is, the question is, what needs to be done next in your aquifer manager system, your aquifer management system? So what needs to be done next in your aquifer management system?
That's an excellent question. Here in Kitsap County, our water comes from our aquifers. Our aquifers are recharged by rainfall. We do not get any water from snowmelt or rivers. So it's super important that we together, and when I say together, I mean the entire cities, counties, tribes, that we look to manage our aquifers carefully. That has to do with the way that we build buildings. If you are building buildings where there is no aquifer recharge occurring, then we are basically sending our good water, our rainfall, out into the sound. As well, we need to be thinking about the way that we treat our wastewater. Currently, 3.2 billion gallons of treated wastewater is sent out into the sound. I applaud KQD as they are building a wastewater treatment plant that will actually use 1.5 billion gallons of treated water at the Port Gamble site and use it to recharge our aquifers and our storm streams. So thank you.
Thank you. And John, same question?
Thank you. Last November, we received authority from the voters of Kitsap County to engage in the treatment of sewage. Promptly, we moved ahead before that, and through the courtesy of Mason County PUD number 1, we were able to accept the donation of the present plant and the $2 million that the state had set aside to support this project. We have 2 more in the pipeline right now. One in Indianola on the Spitz, and the other one is not ready for publications yet. But our need to assist failing or endangered septic drainage system is vital.
Thank you, sir. And this is a follow-up question, and it goes to you, John, and we'll start with you, please. Regarding aquifers. Do you think your aquifer management system could be used statewide? Why or why not?
Well, it is. Last Friday morning in Vancouver, Washington, our team conducted a briefing for the Water Committee of the Washington Public Utility District Association. And we are tracking very, very closely 3 aquifers, one at 300 feet, one at 600 feet, and one at 1,100 feet. And we see that as the best way to make use of a resource that is now being dumped or laying there waiting to pollute. And we don't want that.
Thank you, sir. Debbie, same question.
So the aquifer management system is held up and is respected throughout the state, and I've certainly heard this from representatives as well as my opponent, and it states so on the Kitsap Public Utility District website. Certainly, specifically for our county, with such a diverse rainfall, 30 inches in the north and 80 inches in the south, and where rainfall is our only aquifer recharge, I think we need to continue to manage that extremely carefully and also plan how do we get that resource to those areas that don't have as much rainfall as, say, our very wet southern portion of our county. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so moving on to the next question, specifically regarding the PUD emissions. This one goes to you for starting, Debbie. Would you like to expand the PUD's roles, or would you like to narrow them?
I chose to run for Kitsap Public Utility District because of the very positive and focused mission of KPUD. Ensuring safe drinking water is paramount for our county. The one area I would like to see expansion is regarding our broadband service. KPUD has done a good job in providing the backbone currently, the backbone fiber optics for our first responders, municipalities, schools, libraries. But what we need to do and how to expand that mission is to actually have broadband service throughout our county. It is unfair for our kids to go to school, and many of them going to school and having internet service at school because there's that backbone there, and then they go home and they don't have that service. And it's unfair economically. Myself, I'm a small business owner. I live in a city where I have good broadband service. That's provided me the opportunity to start my own business and work from home, and I was able to care for my children as well as be a business owner. So that is like number one for me, is expanding that service.
Thank you. John, same question, please.
Well, Debbie and I are on the same page on this issue, and I've been the guy on a skateboard running around Kitsap County trying to spread the word on a first-of-a-kind project that we have going. No one else is trying this. We're the first. We have what's called an LUD, meaning a given area within the county, preferably high density, but otherwise yes. And we can go out with a 50% plus one, if it's financially feasible, to indebt those people to bring broadband to their home. This is an indebtedness of 20 years. We have one underway right now, is formulating, and 8 more in the pipeline.
Thank you, sir. Oh, and we have a challenge. So please, Deb, 1 minute.
The authority to provide wholesale broadband was given back in 2001. We are at 2016. They were given the authority in 2001 to provide the broadband service for those the municipal, the high school, etc. 2016, 15 years later, and we still do not have broadband service in our rural areas. Does that mean we need to be heading down to Olympia to advocate with our legislators to either get retail service, or does that mean that we collaborate with our cities to provide that service? Cities now can do it. There are cities, counties that are doing retail broadband service. Does it mean we need to be looking at collaboration, or what are the opportunities for public-private partnerships? So I guess my frustration is it's been, we're 15 years in counting at this point.
Thank you. John, you get a minute to counter, please.
Yeah, we are in Olympia. We've been in Olympia since I was there for a week trying to get that legislation through both the Senate and the House. The prohibition on retail is not something we asked for. Senator Rolfus and I worked together last year. We will work together this year. She has 2 bills on her drafting board, and they failed to get a hearing. They got a hearing last year, and it was a very positive hearing. But the holdup is not at Kitsap County. We do have one public-private venture underway right now, and 8 more we're looking for partners. So we're out and about and kicking tires.
Thank you. Okay, so Debbie, John answered the last question, so Debbie, you get the next question. And this is actually from the audience members, it's germane to the current subject matters you're discussing regarding the internet. So the question is, what lessons for the state are there from your internet experience or from the PUD's internet experience? Debbie?
Well, I would say the lessons, and certainly as a previous community organizer, former House Representative Larry Sequist can support me on this. We need you. You don't get things done if you don't have the support of the community. As a person that was the co-founder of the Puget Sound Ferry Community Partnership, for a long time we languished with the state not providing good funding for the ferries, not building boats. And when the people came together and we formed Ferry Community Partnership, the Puget Sound Ferry Community Partnership, and supported our representatives and lobbied and advocated, sent faxes, sent emails, went down and met in person, things changed. And with that, I think you can ask Appleton, Rolfus, and Sequist, we froze fares for 3 years after they had increased by 25%. We got the state to build boats, and you have attention now to the ferry service. So the same should be done for internet.
Thank you. John, please.
Yeah, we have members on almost every group that are attempting to open the doors to let PUDs get in to the retail business. Now, I'm not sure we would use the retail business, but we would have it in our toolbox if we could not get partners, investor-owned partners to come in with us. Right now, we're in absolute, complete compliance with the state law left to us in 2001. And we intend to carry that on. We have a very successful business plan. The only thing that holds it up, from our point of view, is the resources to pour into.
Thank you. And John, the next question is actually somewhat more specific follow-up question, again regarding internet services. And the audience member simply asked, what is the plan to expand fiber optic to rural areas?
Well, as we,
There you go.
Now that's absent-mindedness. This is not a double wire thing. Can I start now?
Yes, sir. We'll start your time.
Right now, we have over 200 people that have signed up from LUD, being formed in the Davis Bay area of Kitsap County. They are not served adequately, and they want to be served better. We are underway with ordering material and the equipment necessary to provide them with an adequate fiber optic service of up to a gigabyte, if they want to pay that. A gigabyte is not so much the extension of the service, it's the third party that we have to deal with, the guy in the middle.
Thank you. Debbie, same question.
So what is the plan to expand fiber optics to rural areas? I'd have to say that's my same question as well. Again, 2001, they were given that authority, and the authority was given with the goal to expand service to rural areas. The KQD collects a tax, and that tax, right now, all that money goes towards fiber optics. To me, I'd like to see a well-developed plan that states, we are going to get this done by when? And track that every year. Are you meeting your goals? If you're not, why not? You got the money, you're taking the money, so show us. When are we going to get by this time period? You have to have measures in business. You have to be able to meet your goals. I have to meet a deadline every time I produce an art magazine. The same should be done for KQD. What is your deadline to get it done?
Thank you. So next question goes
I have a comment back on that.
oh, sure. You want to challenge that?
Well, we are meeting our goals. Right now in downtown Winslow, where my opponent lives, I think one block to the west, she can make available to herself open her computer, her smartphone, and we put $135,000 into that system. And it runs from the ferry terminal all the way to the Diner Street there. I've forgotten the name of it right now. But we have it in Paulsville, we have it in Kingston, we're putting it in Port Orchard. Now that means that the public riding along the street can use their equipment and ride on our internet. So we are meeting our goals.
Thank you, sir. Debbie, you get a minute, please?
You heard Polsbo, Bainbridge Island, Port Orchard. Those are cities. I have excellent service right now. Maybe expensive, and certainly I would love to see competition occur. But I'm not talking about the city of Bainbridge Island. I'm not talking about the city of Port Orchard or the city of Polsbo. And in terms of service, please check it, because there are concerns that it's not functioning as it has been presented. It should be functioning. But again, that's cities. I'm talking about the rural areas. I'm talking about the areas of unincorporated Kitsap. I'm talking about the areas that they were given authority and money to make it happen. Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys can roll in on this and Debbie gets.
It's a great topic.
Debbie, you also heard Davis Bay. You didn't hear North Paulsbo, halfway up to the bridge, but that's an LUD that we're putting together right now. So we are working in rurals where we can find a third party to work with us. We need the last mile contract. We're going to obey the law. We're not going to play paddywhacks and try and get somebody else to collect the fee. That's a New York trick. And while I'm from there, I don't endorse the trick. Or some of the candidates.
Debbie, would you like to, you have a minute if you like to push this further? Okay, well, thank you. I got lost on who did the last question, so I think I'll start with Debbie.
Okay, thank you.
Now, this is regarding change of venue. So going from internet to septic and runoff. Not that there's any correlation, they're just different subjects. So how serious is the problem of old and inefficient septic systems? Please.
It's a huge problem. We've seen the Hood Canal and what's gone on with the depletion of basically fish are having trouble in the Hood Canal. We've seen that, and that's been found to be part because of the septic issue. I attended a wastewater infrastructure conference out at Brownsville, and was shocked to find out that we still have pipes directly dispersing